What's up, YouTube world? This is Steven again. It is currently 9:25 p.m. on September 16th of 2023, and I would like to welcome you all to my sixth book review, Thinner by Richard Bachman, aka Stephen King. If you don't want any spoilers, leave now, and if you're still here, that's your fault. So, Thinner is about a man named Billy Halleck, and he is in court, and he pretty much got away, I guess, with murdering someone because the person he murdered ended up being a gypsy, and gypsies are not really liked and not real and kind of frowned upon in the community. And the person, I guess the father or grandfather of the person he killed, walked by him, kind of caressed his cheek, and said, "Thinner." And the person who got him off the hook were police officer Duncan Hopley and I guess lawyer Kerry Rossington. And the ironic thing is Billy Halleck, or Halleck, it's Halleck, is also a lawyer, and he works at a firm, and he recently got promoted to being a lawyer. But then he progressively starts losing weight, and he thinks, and he's overweight to begin with. The book started and he was about 249, close to 250 pounds, and he's like 6'2" or 6'3", so even at his height, that's still pretty overweight. But then he progressively starts losing weight, and he lives at home with his wife Heidi and his daughter Linda. And then his wife Heidi notices that he's losing weight, and she sees it as a good thing. He's dropping pounds. He needs to drop a few pounds, and even his doctor, Dr. Houston, I think it's Michael Houston, even says, you're edging on heart attack stage because you're close to 40, and you're 250 pounds, you're this many pounds overweight, and you're edging into heart attack country. Because all that weight on your stomach, it puts stress on your heart and your chest and everything. So that's why he tells him that. But then, no matter how much he eats, and he eats like a horse, he's hungry like a wolf every single day, and no matter how much he eats, he progressively keeps losing weight. And he sees Michael Houston, or Dr. Houston, about this, and Dr. Houston tells him, you need to lose some weight anyway, but come back and see me pretty much if this keeps happening. Not only does it keep happening, even though he just continually stuffs his mouth with as much food as he can every single day, he keeps losing weight continuously, usually 1, 2, maybe even 3 pounds per day. And next thing you know, he's down to a healthy weight for his height, which is between 175 and 200. And then he sees, Heidi is concerned about him because he's losing weight without dieting at all. So she tells him to go see Dr. Houston, and he says that they can run some tests on him, and that they can check him into this like medical unit where they can do like metabolic tests. So he checks into the that unit, and they do the metabolic tests, and they think it's kind of like a psychological anorexia nervosa type thing, or something like that. But there was nothing psychological about it. What Billy Halleck thought was the gypsy that caressed his face after he won his trial against the gypsy that he killed, he thought it was the gypsy who did it. And what happened when he ended up running over the gypsy is Heidi ended up was giving him a hand job inside of his truck, and which made Billy lose focus. And in the meantime, he ran over this gypsy woman who actually ended up jaywalking. So in a way, she was also breaking the law, and I think that was how he got away with it, because she was jaywalking in the middle of the road. But the other gypsy, the father or grandfather, I can't really remember who, didn't want him to get away with it. So Billy Halleck thought that the gypsy who caressed his face put a spell on him because he said thinner after he touched him. So he wanted to see if that was true. So he left Heidi a note while Linda was at her aunt's house, because Linda couldn't stand to see Billy in the state that he was in, and it was taking a toll on Heidi's and Billy's marriage as well. And he wanted to kind of prove that it was the gypsy. So he was he hired this investigator to track these gypsies and try to get the name of the gypsy who caressed his face in that trial. And he ended up finding the gypsies and the guy who caressed his face and said thinner. And the person who did that was named Taduz Lemke. It's Taduz and then Lemke. So Taduz Lemke was the one who put a thinner spell on him, or so Billy thought. So he was asking people around town as well, and people wanted to steer clear of him because they weren't sure how. Like, one bar said he wasn't good for business just because of how thin he was getting. He was down to like 117 pounds at a time, and then he eventually found Taduz Lemke and all of his band of gypsies at a campfire site in the middle of rural Maine. I want to say it was Bar Harbor or somewhere like that, and he ended up confronting Lemke about it. I'm just going to call him Lemke for right now. He ended up confronting Lemke about it, and pretty much told him, take this curse off me. And Billy ended up finding out that Lemke was the one. It was Lemke who cursed him, and it wasn't like psychological anorexia nervosa or anything like that. And Lemke said, no, I will never take it off. And Billy said, take it off or I will put a white man curse on you. Because Lemke was calling him white man from town. And Lemke said like that he'll never take the curse off of him, and that there's no push, or another word for push. He would say push. And one person ended up slingshotting Billy with a ball bearing, and it ended up going through his hand, and he didn't know how much pain he was in until he got back to his truck. And when he got back to his truck, he noticed how much pain he was in, and he hired a guy. I gotta look up the guy's name again. It's on one of the chapters. It was give me a second. Sorry. Give me 1 second. Where is it? Oh, shoot. Hold on. Maybe it's further back. Might be further back. It was Janelli. That's right, it was Janelli. And I forget his first name, but he hired Janelli in order to see if he can get more information on the gypsies and what he can do to like get the curse off of them. And Janelli was pretty much went to threaten the gypsies that he will curse them if they don't take the curse off of Billy Halleck. And what he does is he gets Lemke to have a one-on-one face meeting with Billy Halleck at a park inside of rural Maine. And what happens is when they meet, Lemke has a pie with him, and it ends up being a strawberry pie. But the pie is something that will take the curse off of Billy. But Lemke says, in order for the curse to be taken off, you need someone else to eat the slice of pie that I give you. So he gives him a slice of pie, and what happens is the scar from the ball bearing that was on Billy's hand ends up healing along with the scar tissue, and he takes the slice of pie, goes back to the truck, and he ends up seeing a severed hand with multiple ball bearings in it, and it ended up being Janelli's hand, and Janelli ended up dying. Oh, I forgot to mention what happened to the two others. Kerry Rossington, his lawyer, ended up turning into like a reptile-like being, and I think ended up dying as he was. And Duncan Hopley ended up being like having terrible acne all over his face, and I think he ended up committing suicide because of it. Committing suicide because of how bad he looked. And so let me get back to the rest of the story. So he ends up going back, and Heidi looks all different. The furniture is moved around all different in his room and around the house and stuff like that. And so he takes the slice of pie home, and the thing is, he has a lot of animosity about Heidi and Dr. Houston wanting him to check into the Glassman Clinic, they called it, because they thought he was pretty much going crazy and insane. So he was pretty upset about that. So he tells Heidi that he has a present for her. waiting in the truck, and it was the slice of pie, which the crust was actually pulsating, but when Heidi saw it, she didn't notice it. So she sets it aside, and Billy goes upstairs to sleep. But what happens is Linda comes home while he's asleep. His daughter Linda comes home while he's asleep, and the Heidi and Linda make up because they had a huge fight as well. And what happened was a quarter of the pie was sliced out, and Heidi and Linda ended up eating part of the pie. So, and whoever eats the pie pretty much dies, is what Lemke said. And once Billy found this out, he got the rest of the pie, and he pretty much told himself to chow down and started to eat the pie, which means he would gain weight, but eventually he would lose it until he died as well. So that is Thinner in a nutshell. What I thought about Thinner, I thought it was a really, really good story for about the first 100 to 200 pages. You know, when he started, when he left his place, which was in Connecticut, which is where the story takes place, the story, it kind of lost me in a way when he was going after Lemke, and when he hired Janelli and a private investigator to get the photos and information of the Lemke tribe. I guess it really lost me. And also, not only that, but the chapters before that the chapter was a number, which was like, 174 or 221 or something like that, which was Billy's weight at the time. And it even stopped doing that, so I didn't know how much he weighed at the time. They were just describing how Billy looked in the book, that like he was pale, it looked like he could get blown away by a really low mile-per-hour wind. And it really lost me, but I thought it was really cool how it ended with the pie and everything. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, it really lost me in the last about, I don't know, maybe 100 or 110 pages when he was really looking into going after the Lemke tribe and making sure, or trying to get information on how that was put on him and how he would get taken off, the curse I'm talking about. But yeah, that is Thinner in a nutshell. So on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, Thinner is going to be getting a 3.5 for me. It would have gotten a higher rating, but it just lost my attention about in the last 100, 110, maybe 115 pages when he was going after the Lemke tribe to try to take that curse off of him. But either way, that was my book review. Hit me up in the comment section below. Let me know if you read Thinner, and if you read Thinner, what you thought about, and what you thought about this book review in general. But until my next book review, if you liked what you saw in this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and comment below. And I'll see you guys next time with another video. This is Steven signing out.